My computer is going to try and be slow because I wanted to share. I wanted to share this. I guess I'll do it afterwards. Okay, gotta take the glasses off because it gives more of the look of death, like my choker. Okay, so today, October 31st, it is the last day of October, and it is the last day of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So if you've been seeing, like, I've been putting a lot of facts about narcissism, abusive relationships, and also about domestic violence awareness, domestic violence relationships. And so today I wanted to share with you on this last day of October, the last day of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, October, I wanted to share with you understanding narcissism and also healing from it, okay? Because there's so many of us that have been through these types of relationships. And I know that there's a lot of shame in being in these relationships, right? Because you feel like a fool. You feel like, I am a smart woman or man. I am a successful, whatever, business owner, CEO, whatever it is. I'm successful in life and I should have known better. So there's that stigma of being ashamed of being in this relationship. So the first thing that I want to say to you is that, are you reading the facts? 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence awareness. And domestic violence awareness, domestic violence relationship is not even really my thing. My talk, my niche, and what I help women heal from is narcissistic relationships, which is, well, every abuser is narcissistic, no doubt about it. But not every abusive relationship involves the physical piece, which is the domestic violence part, right? So, but for October, I talk a lot about it because I want to bring more awareness to it. I want to destigmatize the shame around it and help women see that you're not alone in this. You're not alone. There's so many women and men that experience these types of relationships. So the first thing that I do with my clients is I teach them how to understand narcissism. Because once you can understand it, you can pick the pieces apart and go, okay, now I know why I showed up like that in the relationship. I know why that other person showed up like that in the relationship. It really helps you. It brings like a peace and calm to you once you just understand it. So just understanding the narcissistic or narcissism piece to it helps out a lot, okay? And I'm going to be, on November 7th, I'm going to be doing a webinar all about understanding narcissism. So I will put the link in the comments below. You can join. All you have to do is put your name and your email address, and you will be there. You're invited. You're welcome to come. I would love to see you there. And I'm going to talk all things narcissism, okay? So the warning signs, the different levels, the various levels of narcissism. I get that a lot. Like, is there different levels? Yeah, there is. Narcissistic traits, narcissistic lingo, like the talk that you, or the words that you see on social media or in conversations. You hear about gaslighting. What does gaslighting mean? Some people don't even know what that means. What about being discarded? What does that mean? So the lingo of narcissism, I'm going to also share that with you. Love bombing, that's another one. What's love bombing? Flying monkeys. There's all kinds of this lingo that people don't understand. Thank you, Keekers. All right, so that's the first thing, is breaking down. Love the look, I know, right? I didn't have the red lipstick on Saturday night. Thought I'd add that. So that's the first piece, is understanding narcissism. Then the next piece is how and why you've attracted this into your life. This is the next piece that makes total sense, brings more peace and calm into your energy in your life. And again, understanding, okay, because once you can understand this, this is the awareness, and awareness is the first key to healing. So that's why this piece is so important. You've got to understand and have that awareness of like, right? So that is the next piece, is how and why you attracted this into your life. And the next piece is the healing. So once you've been through the divorce, once you've come out of your wild time, once you've realized like, holy shit, I was in a narcissistic relationship, or realizing that your ex was or is a narcissist, once you come through that, then the healing journey begins, if you choose. So once you have all of these awarenesses, it's like you're waking up, right? I remember the first time when I realized I was in an abusive relationship, that I was an abused woman. It was, yes, it was heartbreaking. Yes, it was sad. Yes, I cried, but it was also really eye-opening and beautiful, because it's all part of my journey to know that I went through that for 22 years for a reason. Now, the next piece for me was, what is that reason, or what was that reason? Of course, I've figured all that out now. Yay! But what about you? What about you? Where are you at in your journey from realizing like, holy crap, I was married to, or I was with somebody for X amount of years, or maybe I come from my parents, my mom was, or my dad was, or my sister is, or my brother is. What about that? Or what about my boss is a total narcissist, or my coworker is a total narcissist? What about those relationships? Here's the thing, guys. You hear me talking about more of the romantic relationship because that's the experience that I had and that I speak most about. But when I'm talking relationships, I'm talking about all relationships. Okay? Mom, dad, siblings, bosses, coworkers. These people are everywhere. So it just because you're not in a relationship with somebody like this doesn't mean that you haven't come across, because I know you have, because they're everywhere, right? Okay, so so the healing piece. So how do you heal? Okay, I can't go deep into how you heal, but I am going to tell you how you heal. How you heal from a narcissistic relationship, whether that was romantic, or whether that was your parent, or whether that was a coworker, or your boss, or whoever. This is the biggest piece that you must do in order to heal yourself and bring more peace and calm within, and for you to move on in life. Okay? Drum roll, please. Forgive. Forgiveness. That's what you have to do. You have to forgive that other person for what they did to you. You also have to forgive yourself for what you're blaming yourself for, right? I know there was a period of time where I was feeling very guilty, and very guilty for being in the relationship for so long, and guilty for what my children had gone through and seen and went through. And I had to forgive. So yes, him, I had to forgive him for all the injustices that he put upon us, myself and our children. But I also had to forgive myself for enabling his behavior, for staying in the relationship for so long, for thinking it was going to work out or it was going to get better. You know, the big piece of this is, oh my God, I feel so stupid. I feel so stupid that I thought, you know, X, Y, and Z, right? So happy Halloween. I just wanted to pop on here and give you a little bit of information about understanding narcissism and the healing part of it. And I would love for you to join November 7th, my webinar called Understanding Narcissism, and I'm going to go through all of the pieces that you may have. Maybe you just need some clarity around it, or maybe you just need to understand it. Like, why did this happen to me? The webinar is going to go between 90 minutes to 2 hours because I know there's going to be a lot of people that show up, and I want to take time to answer your questions. All right, so I'm not going to rush through it. I'm going to take my time and answer any questions that you guys have, and I'm going to go through the warning signs of narcissism. I'm going to go through the different levels of narcissism, the different the various levels, excuse me. I'm going to go through narcissistic traits and the differences between that, because you may be dealing with somebody who, yes, has narcissistic traits, but that doesn't mean that they're a narcissist. Okay, I'm going to go through the narcissistic lingo, what does love bombing mean? What does smear campaign mean? What does gaslighting mean? What does discarding mean? What does deflection mean? Trauma bonding, all of those terminologies, I'm going to go through that with you as well. So that's November 7th. It's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But let me leave you with this last bit of information, okay? The number one sign that you're dealing with a toxic person, okay, whether that be narcissistic, sociopaths, whatever, is the manipulation and control. That is the number one thing. When you realize that somebody is manipulative, maybe they're not necessarily being that way to you, maybe you see them being that way to other people, but that is the number one thing. When they are manipulative and controlling, that is the number one key factor into you knowing that this person is toxic. So they may be at a level of narcissism, or they may be higher at a level of sociopath or psychopath. Who knows? But this is for you. This is for you to know and have that awareness. Like, either I know I'm being manipulated, or I see that person manipulating other people and controlling, because 9 times out of 10 what happens is when you're in a relationship with this person, whether it's a parent or a step parent or a sibling or whatever, the manipulation and the control comes on very, very subtle. It's not like, boom, they're one day they're one way and the next day they're manipulative and controlling. It's very subtle. And so that's how you get tricked, right? And that's why I call narcissistic abuse the silent abuse. Okay, because there is no sexual and there is no physical abuse involved, and that's why it can be harder to detect, because of these subtle ways they bring in their toxic behavior. Very, very subtle. In fact, one of the most subtle ways that I was watching some kind of a crime show, I don't even remember, but it was boyfriend and girlfriend. He was the one who was toxic. She was caught up in his web, so to speak, and he would say something like this. She would get dressed, and he would say, "Oh, Sarah, I really like that outfit. But you know what looks even better on you? This outfit, the one that I bought you." Or whatever it is, whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean that he bought it for her, but maybe maybe it covers her up more or something. This one looks really good on you. And so guess what Sarah does? She takes off the outfit that she was wearing and she puts on what he wants her to wear. So that's how subtle the manipulation and controlling can be. And that's the message that I want to bring to you, and I want to bring to women around the world, is to recognize this early on, okay? Early on, so you don't build a relationship with these people. Or if you come from it, and this is your step parent or your parent or whatever that is in your life, that you can, because Here's another question that I get asked. Can it work out? Can it be better? You can't change these people. You cannot change these people. So trying to work it out with them, trying to make things change or get better or whatever, never, ever, ever, never, ever works out. In fact, if you don't believe me, that's okay. Read the book. Let me see if I can remember the name. It's by Dr. David Hawkins, and the book is called When Loving Him is Hurting You. If you don't believe me, read the book. It is about this psychotherapist who went through all of had all of these patients. His patients were the women, the wives in the relationship who were dealing with a narcissistic husband. And he talks about all the stories and all the signs and symptoms and the warnings and the this and the that and and yes, they all manipulate, and yes, they all lie, and yes, they all cheat, and yes, they all exploit, and yes, yes, yes. And at the end of the book, he gives you like the rate of women who, or the marriages that stayed together, and the rate of marriages from his experience and his patients who didn't, who divorced. And I don't remember the number of how many patients he had, but I do remember this: only one stayed in the relationship. Only one. So the answer is no. You cannot make them change. You cannot better the relationship. That's the truth. All right. So happy Halloween. Happy Halloweeny. Happy Halloweeny. Weenie, 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 weenie. This is what I was doing all Saturday night. Wait, this one. Get that thing out. All right, my loves. Thank you for showing up and listening and following me and educating yourself on all things narcissism. I'm so happy that you are investing this time in you, and you're learning about this, and you are rewriting your story and recreating you to have healthy relationships around you. And remember, everything begins and ends with you. Everything begins and ends with you. So have a great night. If you're going out trick-or-treating, be safe. Have a great time, and I'll see you tomorrow.